SCP-1440. SCP-1440 looks like a harmless 80-year-old hermit man and belongs to the Cater class type. He carries some clothes, old playing cards, and a glass cup with him at all times. However, no one knows his ethnicity and age, and he hasn't aged in the 50 years since his discovery. Not even Botox can keep you looking that good. When asked about his age and ethnicity, SCP-1440 will not offer the information. Whether he doesn't know himself or won't share isn't certain. Regardless of how sweet and wise he might seem, people should not approach him. When SCP-1440 makes contact with humans or anything man-made for too long, bad things start to happen. Think of him as the walking and talking opposite of a rabbit's foot. Destructive anomalous events will begin happening around him until the person or object he'd come into contact with is eliminated. He's a gentle soul who tries to stay away from humans and all of civilization, because what kind of monster would he be if he didn't? Unfortunately, he travels in a pattern that always leads him back to human civilization, spelling random disaster upon cities all over the world. For these reasons, it's too dangerous for the SCP Foundation to attempt to contain him. And besides, they lost him. They don't know where he is. He's escaped no less than 4 times. Nomad's got a nomad, right? SCP-0X1. SCP-0X1 is a shape-shifting, nearly indestructible hater. It belongs to the Apollyon class and therefore is almost impossible to contain and extremely dangerous. Needless to say, it's currently uncontained. It has no known basic form. SCP-0X1 can rapidly change its form in order to withstand any degree of force and protect itself. If someone shot at it, it would immediately develop titanium skin. If the Foundation dropped a nuclear device on it, it would become a cockroach. However, these defensive capabilities last only as long as the threat is present. When there's no need to adapt, SCP-0X1 will adopt a weaker physical state. There's no way to detain or contain the creature, and given its burning hatred of all living things, it's the position of the SCP Foundation to eliminate the being as soon as possible because it's rage-filled and extremely dangerous. If the creature is seen anywhere, the SCP Foundation Mobile Task Force, known as New-7, is dispatched to the area to secure a perimeter and try to endgame it. SCP-0X1 seems to believe that there can be only enduring pain and no peace until every living thing is killed, even capybaras, which have done nothing to anyone ever. Due to its burning hatred, it will physically attack humans without provocation. While it has powerful adaptive abilities, SCP-0X1 has a few favorite forms, including a humanoid titanium crab, a tiny little fur ball that can withstand extreme cold, and a 10-meter-wide octopus that moves astonishingly fast through water. These forms are known as SCP-0X-1-1, SCP-0X-1-2, and SCP-0X-1-3, respectively. Let me know below if you have any ideas on how to trap this one. It's making me sweat a little. SCP-3310. SCP-3310 is an upright floating tree stump in Crater Lake National Park of the Archon class type. See that stump over there? It's sentient and it has opinions, even though it's visually indistinguishable from any other stump. Though it could theoretically be contained, it's best to leave it alone. It keeps about 1.2 meters of its body above the surface of the water and floats about the lake according to weather patterns in the area. However, SCP-3310 should never be removed from the lake. Other than the fact that it's just floating by, unbothered, removing SCP-3310 from the area triggers 2 sets of activation events with disastrous consequences. That's why it's uncontained. The very anomalous nature of SCP-3310 is triggered by its removal and containment. It can either cause anomalous weather like eerie, dense fog or shadow people to pop up all over the surrounding area. The shadow people are translucent and gray, with significant anatomical differences between themselves and humans. Luckily, it's restricted to the lake, and Foundation agents are secretly on the park staff and monitoring the situation. As long as no overzealous university students attempt to pull it out to start some kind of beach fire, there's no danger. Foundation members do have to prevent any overconfident billionaires from conducting submarine expeditions in the lake, and if that proves impossible, prevent them from tying up and dragging SCP-3310 through the water. Even relocating the stump could trigger the activation events. SCP-192119. SCP-192119 is a definitely super serious paranormal computer virus of the Containment class, type identified by the appearance of a warped version of the "when the imposter is sus" meme. It's considered to be of the critical danger class. The pop-up is a black and white photo of a face with black eyes and an unnaturally wide black smile. It cannot be locked in a container because it is a computer virus that travels freely between computers and causes them to explode. It's capable of bypassing any firewall system faster than an email from a Nigerian prince. Exposure to visual or auditory stimuli is treated with high-power amnestics to forget the incident. I'm jealous. I wish I could take a drug to forget when the imposter is sus. Because of the effects of visual exposure to the virus, it's forbidden to take a video of it while it destroys your computer, which is unfortunate because it inflicts thousands of the same repeating image on your monitor that are impossible to stop. It will also play a glitching noise at roughly the volume of a jet engine before violently exploding. If the explosion doesn't kill any remaining witnesses to the event, they will experience a heart attack. Their brains will also swell until they similarly explode. Some survivors will go on to experience Among Us syndrome, which causes victims to obsessively associate everyday objects with the Among Us video game and shout either Among Us or Mungus before laughing hysterically. I think I knew a few victims. Devastating stuff. There's no way of knowing who SCP-192119 will strike next or preventing its attack, but it does appear to be sentient, so don't make it mad. SCP-9301. SCP-9301 is an intelligence or phenomenon of the Apollyon class type that causes things to randomly disappear. Poof, gone. It manipulates reality and narrative to its free will and has the capacity to severely disfigure any individual it chooses. It seems to operate above the understanding of any individual in the SCP universe. The SCP Foundation is currently trying to find a way to contain it, because if they try to detain it and fail, or use currently understood methods to contain it, it'll cause a reality failure event. And by reality failure event, I mean the total collapse of all SCP universes. For now, they can't attack it physically under any circumstances, so if anyone sees SCP-9301, Foundation members, equipped with a reality anchor, go to the area and threaten the creature until it's so sad that it leaves the narrative. Poor guy. All is not lost for it, though. The creature developed a family tree proclaiming itself the parent of 2 other SCPs. For whatever reason, this led to the creation of a religious site dedicated to worshipping the one true editor. SCP-9301 is as esoteric as it is powerful. It has demonstrated the ability to both possess humans and communicate through unconventional methods. Given its apparent invisibility, it's only detectable when it's already disappearing random objects from the universe and manipulating reality to its will. It transcends universes and bridges the gap between the SCP universe and our own. SCP-343. SCP-343 is God. No, really, that's his nickname. He's a male humanoid being of the safe class who appears to have different features to each individual observer. He is willingly detained in the SCP Foundation's facility, with the understanding that he can leave anytime he chooses. Anything you could say sincerely about God applies to SCP-343. He loves people, is all-knowing, and can do anything. To call him contained would be unreasonably generous to the SCP Foundation. He stays in a 400-square-foot chamber in the minimal security section. He gets anything he requests and 1 visitor per day. He's also seemingly omnipotent and claims to have created the universe. He can do just about anything you can imagine. Walk through walls, teleport, conjure items, and increase overall happiness in those around him. He's benevolent and wishes no harm to humans. However, one doctor staffing the facility tried to interfere and intrude on conversations and questions between SCP-343 and his visitors. In one final log entry, he wrote he was planning to confront SCP-343 the next day. He subsequently disappeared without a trace, and colleagues of his claim to have no knowledge of his existence. What would happen if God was a human for a day? Have you ever thought about this? Let me know in the comments. SCP-106. SCP-106 is what would happen if you crossed a zombie, Spider-Man, and the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. It's a humanoid creature, the Keter class type, with the distinct appearance of an elderly human's rotting corpse, but don't let that make you think it's weak. Everything it touches corrodes, rusts, and turns into black goop. The SCP Foundation seems to think the goop is a predigestion material, like when a fly pukes on a cracker to eat it. It can walk through walls, go dormant waiting for prey, and can vanish into a pocket dimension on a moment's notice. The good news is that zombie Spider-Gorgon is contained. For now, the SCP Foundation has constructed primary and secondary means of containment for SCP-106. The primary prison is a lead-lined steel container 40 layers thick with 36 centimeters of air separating each layer, with the whole thing suspended in air nearby magnets. Plan B is a series of 16 spherical prisons filled with lights and fluid, both of which are effective means of slowing or stopping this thing. Containment is closer to enhanced persuasion for the creature. Not to worry though, they've got a foolproof plan if SCP-106 manages to fully escape. It likes to hunt young humans between the ages of 10 and 25, so if he escapes, the SCP Foundation will simply take some human bait, inflict excruciating pain by breaking large bones in their body, toss them into the creature's cell, and broadcast their cries across the facility until it's enticed enough to come back. And it usually does. Genius. SCP-4567-J. SCP-4567-J isn't something you could guess the appearance of even if you tried. Go on, guess. Got it? Wrong. SCP-4567-J is like if Humpty Dumpty married and conceived a child with a biblically accurate angel. It's a constantly moving giant egg with an eye peeking out and feet protruding from all sides. The shell is made from an unknown organic substance mixed with trace amounts of dry human muscle. The eye can move and blink and is always watching. Nothing on Earth can contain it or restrict its movements in any way, and the SCP Foundation has largely given up trying. They have yet to determine the threat level. It's unlikely that the creature would attack any living thing, but there is a risk to anything that gets in its way. Can you guess its motivation? Still wrong. It's Parmesan. It is constantly in search of the dry, pungent cheese, but never has any pasta and breadsticks to grate it on. It is unable to say any words other than Parmesan in a robotic voice. When it finds the Parmesan, it will screech and convulse and consume the cheese via unknown means, emitting a blinding white light. Once consumption is complete, the eye closes, the feet retract, and it sleeps for 24 hours before popping back up to find more Parmesan. Thanks for watching this unhinged explanation of uncontainable SCPs. Have you tried to come up with a new creature to add to the SCP-verse? I feel like they've all been covered. Let me know in the comments if you have an idea wilder than a biblically accurate egg. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.